Hi, everybody. I'm Melissa Klein, and welcome to the Color of Skin class. I am so excited to teach this subject, both in terms of the technical aspects of skin. I'm finally able to geek out about it in ways with people who are interested in the subject, as well as I think there's something about this subject that really kind of brings up a lot about creative journey and human identity, because, the skin, that's such a personal thing for all of us on so many levels, anything from indications of our health, age, to, of course, our racial identity as well. Um, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about uh, how how many people who I've worked with over the years have come to me from, not having had very good art experiences. I've worked with many teenagers who their art instruction was basically the PE teacher throwing worksheets at them. They're like, my real subject is PE. And they got kind of forced into doing it by the admin, because the admin's like, yeah, whatever, what's this stupid subject? But we have to have it, we have to offer it, whatever. And so, or worse, they've had maybe somebody who was a frustrated artist themselves and wasn't very uh, was very incongruent, and those tend to be like the worst toxic types. Or they've had the quote unquote well-meaning bullshit, which is this really awful message of, you're not the creative one, you're pretty, and your sister is smart, and your brother is the creative, like kind of labeling these things. And my attitude is that everybody is creative. I used to tell my reluctant high schoolers, I was like, they'd be like, I'm not creative. And I'd be like, dude, have you ever told a lie? I'm like, don't lie to me, because you did. And they'd be like, oh, Miss Klein, yeah. I'm like, you're creative, they'd be like, oh, but that's true. And even though I had a very positive experience in my own family, my mother, even though she wasn't always very confident and for herself, she was so positive, and yet also honest about, like, I don't think you did that so well, or let's, but also coming from a loving, supportive place. That said, I have had tons of rejection, both in the art world and in other arenas. And I wanted to tell you this weird story about something that happened in my mid 20s, where I was living with this guy for like 4 years. So it wasn't a fly by night thing. And I think he kind of sensed that I was pulling away, that I was kind of, and it's true, I was kind of like not into him. Like, he was kind of seeming like I was kind of like, he's kind of a loser, right? Like, duh. Um, and so he asked me to marry him. And then I was like, oh, maybe instead of breaking up, we should get committed together forever, right? And so fast forward 3 days before the wedding, he said, and he was acting weirder and weirder, and he goes, oh, can we have an open marriage? And I was like, do you want me to call it off? And he's like, no. Which is not exactly the facial expression you want to see on the man that you think you're going to marry for the rest of your life. So what we did was we went through with the ceremony, but I wish I could go back and just be like, fuck off. I'm just gonna have a party with my friends and family and get really drunk, and I'm just gonna try to put this, that would have been healthier. But it was like, I thought maybe it was wedding jitters or cold feet or whatever. Anyway, 3 months of hell later, right? And having three sets of friends tell me that they had seen him out cheating on me. Then yeah, so, and he lied the entire time. Like, I had asked him, like, is there somebody else, is there something I should know? And no. And he was a really good liar. And So then I had to basically call up all the people who had been congratulating me over the Christmas holidays. Oh, it must be so great. You're all newlywed. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And just kind of come clean and return all the wedding presents because I couldn't, in good conscience accept those. And I also had to make the dreaded phone call that no daughter and no father wants to either make or hear, which was, the hi, mom and dad, daddy, um, um, I'm not going to stay married to this guy. In fact, I never really was married. We never signed paperwork, and he cheated. And you know, and my forefather. I mean, it was such a, nobody saw this coming, including me. And he he goes, Liz, this is this is embarrassing. This is this is really embarrassing. And then out of nowhere, I think because I was really pretty young, I think that bratty teenager within me was like, well, I did. And I went, Dad, nobody ever died of embarrassment. And at that point, and then in the background, I could hear my mom go, Bill, as he's telling me, this, you know, and her getting on the phone, Liz, it's okay, Um, and my father was really supportive. He just had a moment, like what dad wants to hear that news? And and he was also like, yeah, dump the guy. And so nobody did die. If anybody was going to die of embarrassment, it was me in that moment, having to return all that stuff, tell everybody, and even like for the next like 2 years or so, like every so often running into somebody who wasn't maybe in on the loop and being like, oh, great, I get to tell that story again of utter shame and embarrassment, even though I didn't do anything wrong. He did, I have to say. So, living proof, with art, think about it this way, the stakes are pretty low. Worst case scenario, you might ruin a canvas or some paper or something, waste a little bit of supplies, but think about what you're going to learn and how awesome that is. And, take that chance. And I think that's a wonderful, beautiful thing. Don't marry somebody who's going to cheat on you, but take the chance with art because really there you have so much to gain and really nothing to lose. All right, thank you so much for watching.